In this video, I'm going to share the number one way to help your teen be confident in social situations and overcome social anxiety. An astounding 1 out of 3 teens between 13 to 18 deal with social anxiety. It's a real problem, and our teens need the help to get over it because social interactions are key to success. Hello, and welcome to my channel, the first episode with the Teen Confidence Coach. I'm so happy to have you here. My name is Farhana, and I work with teens and young adults to show up with confidence and face life successfully with resilience. I was a teacher and I'm a speaker and educator. I do what I do because I was the most unconfident teen you ever met. I mean, I heard things like, "Do you have a voice?" I went through a terrible period in my teen years where I had to deal with multiple armed robberies, parental house scares, and the biggest one for me was losing my beautiful big sister when I was 15 years old. As you can imagine, it broke my world, and it took me a long time to be who I am today. It's still a journey. I do what I do to give you the tools I didn't have, because life does have icy patches. The reality is, we will have moments of difficulty, but if we have the tools, it gives us the grit to get through it. In our first session, I'm going to tell you how to handle social anxiety. Have you ever had that feeling when you're incredibly uncomfortable in your skin? You almost want to sink into the ground. Chances are, yes. Did you think you were alone? In reality, we all go through this at some point. This sense of not belonging, not fitting in. Social anxiety is something a lot of my clients struggle with. I've heard time and time again from my clients, no one really likes me, or they feel invisible to their friends. Have you ever felt that way? The feeling of you not being good enough for people to pay attention to? When we are in our teen years, this is something we begin to struggle with because suddenly we aren't kids anymore. We become aware that people are judging us, so we become super self-conscious about everything. Social media doesn't make it any easier. It's so easy to compare at the click of a button, the perfect body, the perfect grades, the perfect life, from the clothes we wear, how we speak, and even the TV shows we watch. We are constantly exploring. And that's okay. As part of our teen years, we are allowed to explore. How do we want to style our hair? What sport do we like? What kind of music am I into? The pitfall is we start comparing ourselves to our friends and get caught up in social media. We get so caught up in how amazing other people are rather than noticing how amazing we are. So you might relate to this. Your best friend is great at maths. You aren't naturally smart at math like her, so you feel like the dumbest person in class. I remember feeling this way. As hard as I worked in maths, I just couldn't get it. Another friend gets hundreds of likes on social media and you never do. You start thinking, am I unpopular? This compare and despair is very natural because our brains are trained to want to be accepted by our group, by our people. It's very natural to feel like we're walking into a room full of tigers when you are around strangers because we want to be accepted. And this continues into adulthood if we don't catch ourselves. Struggling with social awkwardness is a natural part of growing up. In reality, if we don't learn to manage it, we take it with us into adulthood. So I'm going to teach you what I teach my clients every day to handle social anxiety. Your thoughts about yourself affect your self-esteem, and your self-esteem affects your social skills and relationships. Think about when you thought no one liked you. We find evidence for it everywhere. If your friends talk about their plans and don't ask about yours, it's a reason they don't like you. I had a client who made herself believe this. In reality, it was her own thoughts that were making her think this way. They don't like me because they aren't asking about what I like to do over the weekend. It made her feel insecure, which probably made her unconsciously remove herself from the conversation, stop listening, and left herself out of the conversation completely. I look back in hindsight in my teen years. That is exactly what used to leave me feeling unconfident, awkward, and generally feeling alone all the time. The way we actually feel about ourselves drives every experience we have through our actions and behavior. These thoughts become our primary driver. We allow it to control everything we do. When we first enter a party and we don't know anyone, we are gripped with fear and we freeze or flight and want to run away. We think it's because we don't know anyone. I get it. It's awkward to go into a party and not know anyone. You rather face a den of lions, right? Trust me, the people in the party are safer in the long run. In fact, the social awkwardness isn't caused by how many people you know or don't know at the party. It's caused by the thoughts you've triggered. I mean, if we're not careful, we do it in adulthood as well. I had to go to a social event the other day and I didn't know anyone. I was so uncomfortable in the drive on the drive there. And an hour before, I almost made myself not go until I became aware of my thoughts and realized, hey, what is the worst that can happen? Perhaps no one will talk to me. But what if something amazing happens? What if I make a new friend? What if I actually have a good time? Great news. We can learn to do this. We can change it by learning to redirect our mind towards different thoughts that make us feel more confident. You can focus what you can focus on what you have to offer and what is uniquely wonderful about you. You'll be coming from a place of self-worth, which changes how you show up in any situation. Embrace yourself and really understand that all of you is lovable. You are inherently valuable as a human. The trouble is, as humans, we forget. We live in a time where we only post the best bits in a quick reel, the shorter the better. So we think we are only worthy if we look a certain way, get certain grades, get invited to lots of places, and so on. But think about this. When you think of a baby, we don't say, I'll only love you once you can walk, or when you have 1,000 followers on Instagram. Our brains actually have something called the negativity bias, which means we pay attention to the negative events that happen. I mean, it's something that's been built from our cave dwelling days, and it kept us safe. Now it can be a nuisance if not handled. So let's get your brain noticing how awesome you are. Take a moment and make a list of all the different ways you add value to the world simply by being you. At home, at school, with your sibling, your personality, work, sports, whatever it may be for. For example, I'm awesome at being there for my parents. I love making others laugh. It's very easy to feel like the world is against you. And so we need to remind ourselves that we are valuable. We are worthy just for being us. Also, the next time you're at a party, name the elephant in the room. Own it. Say, I'm feeling so nervous because I don't know anyone. Chances are the other person will say, don't worry, I felt like that too. Or they'll say, let me introduce you to some people. Try it next time and remember to breathe. I'll see you next time. Remember, you are loved. You are enough. You are growing. You are human and you are worthy. Much love and light to you.